Hey everybody, I just saw something pretty interesting on Bitcoin. I know I've been very bullish. I have something that scares me a little bit. Let me show you. Okay, first things first, let's go over here and look at this right here. This was an idea I posted on TradingView, 414. So if you look, this was the weekly Bitcoin chart. I said that Bitcoin has a potential of running up to this level over here of $35,000 in the uptrend that it's in. I did say I do expect it to pull back, use any one of these numbers as support, hopefully stay in this uptrend right here. Again, this is a weekly chart. Let's go ahead and just click this play button and see how it played out. Okay, cool. So this is where we are currently. Looks like we are kind of holding this line, but here's one of my concern lines. Okay, so we were up here when I called this. We fell back down to this trend. All right, now here's where my concern lies. We are below in this resistance right here. It did hold as very strong resistance for us if you look. Okay, the next support is going to be 26.5, which is below this trend line. If I close out of this and I come over here, this is the weekly. As you can see, we are just like messing around right on this line right here. If we go down to the 3-day, we're still right on this line right here. If we go down to the 2-day, appears that we are below this line and have used it for resistance. But if we go to the 1-day, you can tell that was kind of just today. All right, so let's look at this 1-day and see what has to happen. So if you look at the 1-day, we're sitting right around 27,600. All right, my support below us, which I honestly can't see any reason that we don't hit, is going to be 26,536. If this was our final wick and we just come back above here as of tomorrow, this level that we need to get back into our trend is at 27,841. On Thursday, that number jumps up to almost 28,000. And on Friday, that number jumps up to 28,040. So you're looking at around, I don't know, $80 every day or so, $60 to $80 every day, that this trend line is increasing. If we go into next week, next Wednesday, we'll say, we're looking at $28,500 is where this trend line lies. So we're going to be hanging around here. Now, the question lies, are we going to come all the way down to this 33.5 and then try to get back up there? I'm sorry, this 23,500 and then try to get back up here? Are we going to come down to this 26,500 and try to get up there? Or is this going to be our local bottom and we go ahead and get back into this trend line? Now, if we get back into this trend, all right, let's take a look at this. Let's go back to the weekly. Okay, if we do get back into this trend, once we get into this line right here, right, we have a major resistance that we're going to incur at 31,473 next week, which drops down to 31,185 the following week. So this is going to be a tough resistance for us to get through. But if we can't somehow shoot through there any point in time next week, that puts us all the way up to 35,000. Okay, literally just the top of the trend. If it takes a week longer, that puts us up to 35,883, which is kind of my next expected target before we bump into any really significant resistance. I know a lot of people don't have that number. I have that number for many reasons. I'm not going to get into all of that right now, but so this is how we're looking. Look for a resistance right here, 29,500 about. Look for a support, 26,487, and we're looking to get back into this yellow uptrend at about 28,000. If we get into there, then there's a good chance that we can shoot up. Let's look at some of the other indicators that may be able to give us a hint or two on this. Okay, so looking at another chart. This chart has a lot of basic necessities that you need to look at when you're looking at the chart. Just to go through, we got the stock RSI, we have the RSI, we have the MACD, we obviously have volume, and we just have our candles that we're looking at, which is a weekly candles, right? And we have our fib resistance levels as well. So if you look here, we have been bouncing off of this fib level. What is this level at? we'll say 27,000 around. That's a significant level for us to hold. Below that, we got 25,600, which is similar to the numbers that we have on the other charts. But I digress. Let's take a look at a couple things. So we got the MACD over here, which has made a significant move up, as you can see here, which when it crosses, it does become negative temporarily, right? But we do, as you can see here, there was times where we went significantly higher in the MACD than we are currently. All right. So if we go down to the RSI, I want you to take a look at something. RSI just crossed here, which can sometimes be very negative. This is a weekly chart. Let's bear that in mind. All right. And I'm not saying bear because I'm bearish. Let's just bear that in mind. No pun intended. All right. So let's go ahead and scroll over here, though, because if you look, we did not quite bust out of our RSI zone right here. Like, usually it's the 70 level, and then once we break out past 70, sometimes it could be 80, sometimes it could be 100, but sometimes it can only be 71. Usually at that time, we'll come back down and go back down to like the 30 or so. Just that's how the RSI works generally, especially on the much larger time frames. You normally don't see a lot of up and then halfway down and then right back up again. That rarely happens. Okay, this was the pump during the last bull market that you've seen that. That was when we came down from 70, went down to like 48 or 30 or something, and then 40, and then bounced back up to I think it was like 52 or something crazy like that. But anyway, so let's go back over here and look at this. All right, so if you look at this where we are right now, you can see we had a similar situation over here. We made it right around the 69 level. Okay, when we made it around the 69 level, we came down right under our yellow line just temporarily. For a week or, well, I guess this was from September, and for about 2 weeks or so, we were below this yellow line and kind of doing some sideways movement. But then, as you can see, when we broke through this, boom! This was the literally the beginning of the bull market, where we just went parabolic from $12,000 or $13,000 all the way up to $70,000, and it all happened right here. If you can look right here, we're at a very similar point in time. The way this has come up to these levels, came back down. Now, I'm not saying like this is the very beginning of the major bull run, but there's a possibility that we're getting pretty close to it. One other thing I'd like to point out is which kind of goes against that bullish narrative. There's the MACD is crossing along with the stochastic RSI going down, right? The stochastic RSI, once it goes down, usually comes down and resets. You don't see it very often come down to this middle line and bounce back off of it. Sometimes it'll stay a significantly amount above the middle line and go back up, but you don't really see it get to this line often and bounce back up. All right, so that wouldn't make me believe that we are going to go down a little bit further. Once we get down here and we go up like we did here, this is usually a big green candle and a significant increase after that. So I would like some of these levels to reset. I think this would be very beneficial for the market. Let's talk about what happens when they do. Okay guys, if you're still with me and you're finding some value for this, do me a favor, go ahead, smash the like button and subscribe. I only have 30 subscribers on my YouTube for some reason. I have almost 6,000 followers on my TikTok and other platforms, but only 34 subscribers on YouTube. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. But anyway, let's go take a look at this chart again. We're going to go to the one-day chart now, okay? Now, we were on the weekly. Let's take a look at the one-day, see if we're bullish or bearish on the one-day, because the weekly happens over a long period of time, while the one-day we're going to see over maybe a couple days or so. We're going to see it haven't taken effect on the market. All right, so we're not going to go over these levels because they're all the same numbers and we're at the same spots. But let's take a look at the MACD, the RSI, and the stochastic RSI. All right, so if you look here on the one day, we did cross the 69 level here, and we went up to the 71 level. Now, the one day, as you can see, there's a lot more false signals. That's why I would like to go to the weekly and look at the bigger time frames. You'll find that you get less false signals on the larger time frames. The stochastic RSI here is already down, which is good. We're going to be waiting for that to bounce like this, bounce like this, bounce like this, or like this, bounce like this. So we're going to wait for that sharp edge to happen, and we're going to wait for it to cross the orange. Once it crosses the orange, we're going to wait for it to cross this level right here, which is, I believe, the 20 level. As long as it's across the 20 level and above the orange, most times, you know, it did what it did, and it's good to go. So you can actually go ahead and make your long play. Okay. Now if we look over here, our RSI is at the 43. Now that's not a good thing. RSI usually comes down to in the 30 to 40 range when it resets. Okay. So if you look here, this one came all the way down to 28, which was significant. This last reset right here came all the way down to 24, which was significant. Last reset right here, double bottom, that looks like about 29, which is significant. But there are times that, you know, we can hold like the 38 or the 39 even, as we go ahead and hit the bottom and attempt to reverse. Okay. Our MACD levels, as you can see here, it's much different. It's already on its way down. It's been rejected twice off of the cross, and hopefully soon we'll get a cross on that. So it looks like we do have a little bit more down coming over the next day or two, but that's going to reset these daily levels. What we really, the most important thing we want to make sure is that when we get to this weekly chart right here, all right, when we get to this weekly chart, by the end of this week right here, we need to be closing above this yellow line. All right. The following week, we need to be closing above this yellow line. At that point, if we can come down, even touch this line right now, maybe have a wick this week at some point down to 26,600, that would probably be enough to reset our daily RSI. It would be enough to bring the MACD down enough, our stochastic RSI, where at that point all our local short-term numbers and indicators are reset and would point to, you know, a bullish short-term move. That would bring us above this line, which would hopefully force us to go to the top of this line. This wasn't rehearsed at all. I'm trying to make my TikToks, my YouTube, my charting a little bit more in depth, putting a little bit more time and effort into it. I'm going to be here with you guys. I've made a lot of great calls. I told people to buy at 2,800. I was telling people to buy crypto. I told people to buy ADA at a penny. I told people to buy BNB at like 13 bucks. Ethereum was like at 80 bucks. I told everybody to sell when Bitcoin went up to 70,000 or so, 69,000. Then it came back down. It went to like 40 and change, and then we had trouble getting back above like the 50 level and the 52 level. At that point, I was like, guys, it's done, man. Take your profits. I took a bunch of profits. A lot of my followers took profits, and we did very well. Since then, I've been calling all the major moves during the bear market. I've been calling all the major bounces that we've had, and I've literally screamed at everybody to start buying Bitcoin at $17,000. I'm doing my best to help everybody out. I'm making a significant amount of money. Today it's May 9th. It's 11:09 a.m. I don't have to work anymore. This is fun for me. I like to do this, trying to give some of the information to you guys as well. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and hope to see you on the next video.